How are you? How was the week?
So my week was really very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So we have discussed it with Nastya because of the last, I don't know how to say in English, the last ring maybe.
I
But well,
Bell probably, but you might have to explain what it is.
yeah,
It's the last lesson, for
uh,
school leavers. Yeah.
yeah,
The uh-huh.
it was really very emotional, and
Mhm.
we just prepared for it really very carefully.
And what was it about? Was it a presentation, a concert, a discussion?
Uh, so it had two parts, like the official ceremony and
The
the
formal, yeah? Mm-hmm.
concert. The formal, yeah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
formal ceremony and concert. So during the formal ceremony, there were a lot of like military aspects, march, I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
The mass. Mm-hmm.
uh, ceremonies, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and more
Is it me or I think it's Kate, yeah?
white
Because
t-shirt.
mm-hmm. Well, some misconnection
It's
problem.
frozen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, some Kate, can you hear us? Kate? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can hear you. So I
Uh-huh.
just stopped the video.
Yeah. Can
So
you repeat the last idea because you kind of lost us.
okay.
Mhm.
So as you know, in my building we haven't got any girls, so we
Mhm.
have only boy students.
Mhm. Male
Their
students.
student
Uh-huh.
was really very sensitive moment, uh, and after that, and after that we had concert. So and I don't know why, but I was crying all day. But I think even on Thursday, I just didn't realize that it was our last lesson together.
Oh,
I
I see.
just yes, lead it as usual, and my student just saying, "Stop, stop! It's our last lesson. Don't be so."
Teacher.
I see. Oh, that's
I just yeah, streak.
mhm.
I said, "What do you mean? It's not our last lesson."
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, Kate, was it the first time when you had a class of students who are school leavers, or this group was very special? Why did you react this way?
So, no, last year I had a group of students,
Mhm.
classes who were the leavers, and in Saratov I had.
Mhm.
mm,
Mhm.
yeah, I think these boys were special because we really had a lot of lessons together.
Mhm.
It was like a close-knit community.
Oh, I see.
Wow,
Yeah.
community, yeah.
Yeah, you managed to create the closer bonds with them. I see. Oh, well, um, I don't know. It's life.
Yeah, I
Kids
know.
finish school.
Yeah, and I know that they just now have a lot of opportunities, but they were very not like upset, because they lived there, used to live in with us in this building, so they like they look directionless too. They just don't know what to do.
They asked for, you mean like guidelines? Yeah, directions and in a general sense.
In a general, yes, and because of
Mhm.
course they live with each other, they like a community too.
Yeah,
It's like a friendship, I think,
yeah,
for years.
like for a period of time, they became like a family, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, very emotional. Yeah, I agree. Let all their dreams come true,
Yeah,
right?
I hope.
And I think it's a difficult time to
Of
choose a military career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back to us. Nastya, how was your week? Was it intense?
Not as the previous three, because my colleague happily returned back, and
Mhm.
I'm the happiest person in the office.
Ah, so
Uh,
you now have only your classes, right?
yeah,
Good.
but I do not feel that the academic year is finishing because of our timetable and amount of lessons, but academic year reveals itself in amount of students present
But a
in the lesson.
number, yeah?
A number
Yeah.
of students. And it's stressful, disappointing, because when you had a group of 7 and then only two come, you do not know
Yeah.
what to do, have a plan.
Yeah, you have to have a backup plan, yeah, plan B. Yeah,
But um, we were expecting it,
yeah.
but
It's still,
not
you
happy to
know,
face.
yeah, kind of disappointing. Yeah, well, you understand that it's summer, some people might not come, but
Yeah,
the feeling is kind of,
most of the students are becoming more cautious staying with us, and they understand that the learner gap, the rusty language gap, but newcomers tend to have summer holidays within 3 months.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is kind of people do not expect, I don't know, physical skills to
Yeah,
build up by themselves. I mean, like people clearly understand if you do not go to the gym, your muscles won't, become
forget.
stronger. But for some reason, people think that they can study twice a week, half a year, and the results should be high, exceptionally high. It can be exceptionally high. And it's not about children, it's more about their parents, that parents do not understand that.
We try to explain them, but not
Yeah, to
always
them. Yeah.
to them. But not, maybe not all of them
Are ready to hear.
not can afford it. They can
They
pay
can.
for 9 months of education in
But
order to make school learning process easier. And
well,
they think that it's
what
not.
I noticed is some people say, "Oh, we're not going to come in December because of the holidays. The family is going away." Then they say May is, just half a month. We're not going to come. We want to rest. And all in all, it's not 3 months. It's more often 4 or 5 months or even 6 months. And very often it's not about money. Sometimes it's just not understanding that,
This too.
yeah, like skills need constant practice. Yeah. That's kind of disappointing, especially when people expect high results.
But we happy that last year we managed to have groups even in July. It was the first year when we were
Wow.
working. Yeah.
And when is your holiday time, ladies? When are you going to have holidays? June,
Nobody
July,
knows.
August?
July for sure.
July. Kate, how about you?
I'm really happy person because I'm going to have holidays from the 7th of June through the 11th of August.
Uh-huh. 7th
yes.
of June or 11th of
16.
August. Well, then
days.
after the class, we have to discuss the plans because, you know, today is our 9th class and we have 5 more classes. And if Kate is on holiday, she might want to say, I don't want to study anymore. I have holiday time.
No, I'm very responsible person and
I see.
cautious.
Uh-huh,
So I
see.
want to have our lessons.
Okay, all right. So you remember, well, I didn't see any language notes posted. Well, there was a
Language notes.
listening
Because
task, an
it
extra
was
listening.
listening task, yeah.
Did you have time to
Also,
listen to it? Forget about notes, Nastya. Don't worry too much about them.
No, I have managed to do compulsory part, but not all.
Yeah. Okay, so if you didn't have time to do that, that's fine. I just wanted to talk about ideas, to talk the ideas through. Right, we might come back to that later. At home, you worked with language of speculation and deduction, you remember?
yeah.
So can you speculate about the summer? Like knowing something about your plans, but not everything. Maybe after you have planned something or you have discussed with your members of the family. So, what are your expectations for the summer? Can you focus on some language phrases on page 81? And can you come up with some suggestions, some ideas? What?
So there is a good chance that I and my husband and my son will go somewhere, but it will be in Russia, not abroad.
Abroad. It's likely that you're going
Like
to have
a holiday in Russia.
a holiday trip. Oh, see,
Holiday,
good.
yeah.
Nastya, how about you?
I'm quite sure that we're going to holidays because my husband thinks that it's a must for us.
I missed because of the connection. I missed the first part.
Because my husband thinks that it is a must.
Yeah, I heard that part. I haven't heard the previous one.
It's I'm quite sure that we are going to have holidays too.
Yeah.
To travel somewhere.
Yeah, I see. I keep getting requests about lessons in July, but there is no way I'm going to work in July. I agree with you that everyone should have a holiday, and they keep saying no, thank you, in June or August. Okay.
So
All right. Anything else that is there anything that is
it's
unlikely to happen?
unlikely. it's highly unlikely that I will not visit Saratov.
So you're going to come.
It's a good news.
Good
Yeah,
news,
I'm
yes.
going to come because my son is born to go to Saratov on the 3rd of June with his grandma.
We remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, time for you.
It is my highly expected day.
Right. Anything else? Is there anything that is possible, quite possible, or fairly possible?
There is a good chance that we will move somewhere and live Angus.
This year?
I think yes. I feel so. I predict.
Are you considering Russia or somewhere outside Russia?
Yes, Russia. No,
Russia.
we are patriots.
I don't know.
And
Right.
I'm not a patriot, but
Ladies, I wouldn't agree with this definition, the common definition of patriot. I am a patriot. I love people and the land, but I don't think that being patriotic is about the state or the government. It's more about people around and the land and the culture. So
no, it's not about. It's about people and land. I want to live.
I think that sometimes people who leave are better patriots. Well, deep down at heart, I understand them. Kate, you wanted to say something. I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
no, that's okay. So there is no chance, or there is a slim, no, there's no chance that I just will leave Russia in this year.
In the nearest, future. Yeah. Nastya, are you considering Moscow or St. Petersburg?
I left thoughts for my husband, but I think there is a good chance that it will be Moscow because he found a master's degree. He had a lot of time to do nothing, 2 months, a lot of time to think about the life in order to change everything.
I see. Good luck with that. My family now lives in Moscow, but I don't know. I've been there several times, and well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
5 years ago, he was saying that we are never going to live in Moscow because it's like without seeing each other. But now, as he has a daughter, I think this is the main reason. Once more opportunities, a better life.
Yeah, understanding.
I'm waiting for you, Nastya.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
you will have a person to rely on, like to get some tips
I'm ready
from.
to help.
Okay, great. Right, ladies, we move on, and I want to ask you about news. How do you usually get news? Where do you get them from?
I usually get a piece of news from Telegram, I think. So from media.
So your media source, Telegram channels.
Yes.
Nastya, what about you?
I have periods in my life when I really eager to be up to date. But now I prefer in unknown.
Not to get any news.
No, no news. I have a lot of problems, but maybe some.
At a personal level, you mean?
Yes, my life is so busy and interesting, and I have a lot of things to deal with that I don't want to introduce in order to get more disappointed or
Mm-hmm.
feel discouraged, depressed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, sounds as if all news is depressing.
I do not know why our mass media give gives a lot of attention to bad news, but
Mhm.
not a lot about something great,
Mhm.
positive inventions.
I don't know, maybe too many things are happening at the moment,
Maybe,
and we are bombarded with news.
yeah.
I agree. So if I ask you to open your books at page 83, so here you have some samples of the headlines. And if you see something on the internet, something with these headlines, which would you choose to click on and why? Like pick a headline which makes you curious, and why would you consider, clicking on it?
I think I will choose the last
Mhm.
one.
Why, Kate?
So because I think that I'm already become like I have already became like a
I
spy.
have already
become
Mhm, mhm.
like a spy.
Uh-huh.
So because I really try, it's even looks for me sometimes that I'm crazy about controlling everything that
Mhm,
Makar just look online.
mhm.
Looks
Are
usually,
you an overprotective mom?
um, I'm not sure. I don't know. Is it overprotective or I'm really crazy?
I
Where
see.
is the line?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
where is
line is
the
very
line
fine
between?
in English, we say, yeah?
Yeah.
Quite fine. Between
Because
norm and
Craziness.
the craziness. Uh-huh.
because I have a special apps that where I just can control the time that he spend on TV, on laptop.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like
He now
uh-huh.
he hasn't got any phones, so only watch that we use in order to connect with each other during the day.
Why
Yeah.
no phone? Is he
Uh,
grounded?
because he knows how to um, over uh, how to взломать, break
Avoid. Break.
Uh-huh.
he knows how to break
Uh-huh.
parents control, so I
Uh-huh.
just can't control his phone.
So it's kind of when the child is grounded, yeah, like kind of punished for
Yeah, so
for being,
no phones.
very clever with technology. I
Yeah,
see.
he's very clever with technologies.
Is he going to be an IT guy in the future?
I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
Sometimes it will be really nice if it happens, but
Mm.
now he wants to just lays on the sofa and
Lie.
watch
Uh-huh.
lies on the sofa and watch TV, like to be a couch potato.
Mhm. Mhm. Couch. Yeah, we say
Yeah, couch.
coach. Yeah, couch. Uh, well, people need time to sort out, information. Well, especially say that people have to have their time for themselves to be able to process
Yeah.
information. Every child, every teenager, every adult. We tend to rush too much. Well, Nastya, what do you say? Which would be more interesting for you to read through?
I think it's right, but well, when I'm scrolling all the networking sites that I have, I've got a lot of news about celebrities. I do not know.
Mhm.
Maybe the
Mhm.
once I clicked somewhere
Mhm.
and made a big mistake. Which one?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's why I'm sure that this news will be the first one in my.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. All right. So we are going to read a blurb from a book. You remember what a blurb?
No.
This is a piece of text, ladies, which is usually written on the book, on the cover of the book. So what is
Mhm.
the usually at the back on the back cover? Well, what is it usually about?
It's
If
like
there
a
is
promotion.
like a promotion or a recommendation of
Yeah.
somebody well known, yeah,
Some
probably.
articles or
Yes,
magazines are
yeah.
mentioned there.
Well, look at, the book is called Rewire by Ethan Zuckerman. Well, look at the blurb. And does he believe the internet makes us more or less connected? So here is the blurb. So just go through this paragraph. And are we more or less connected according to the author? Ready? Okay.
Great.
So what does he think according to the text?
He questions, is it
Uh-huh.
useful to mm, to establish connection between people? And I think he believes that it doesn't work.
Okay, do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with Nastya.
So what do you think? Having the internet everywhere, 24/7. So are we more connected or less connected? Well, what's your opinion? We haven't read the book, but what do you think?
I think we used to be more connected when there was the beginning of this era.
Era, yeah.
When I read the news that ITQ is stopped working at the 25th of June or May, or when it started it worked. Everybody were chatting a lot and were more connected than
Yeah, probably. So before we move on, I would like you to focus a bit on the highlighted in orange words. When something is accelerated, what has happened or what is happening. What's accelerator? Do we move faster or do we move slower?
Faster.
Faster. Acceleration, it's when you press speed and you move faster. Mhm.
Like just a process of movement.
It's
Development.
raising the speed, accelerating. Yeah, it could be about vehicles, yeah, and it could be about technology that are developing faster and faster. Mhm. So look at this. How do we pronounce this word? Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. When something is increasingly ubiquitous, well, it's everywhere. The internet has become ubiquitous. It's an adjective, but meaning that it's, everywhere. When something is immensely here powerful, is it a lot more powerful or less powerful?
It's a lot of power.
Yeah. True. So the word inevitably leads is used twice in the text. Can it be avoided if it's inevitably leads to something?
Oh, we studied it.
Yeah, we remember that. So we teach the word cosmopolitan cities, cosmopolitan world to our students. How do we explain that?
No ideas.
Well, for example, you
I
said
haven't teach it.
I haven't. I haven't
Taught it
yet.
yet.
We talk about London, Moscow, I don't know, capital cities as very, very cosmopolitan with
There's a
different
lot of people from different parts of our country.
country. We do not use the word international, but we use cosmopolitan, where people are exposed to different cultures. And people can be cosmopolitan, with this balanced you having a lot of experience of dealing with people from other cultures or traveling around the world. And I think that it's a good idea to teach the word engage and engaging to our students, because I think we do not have something like this, but it's a very helpful word. Yeah.
Interact.
Yeah, because I think we tend to overuse this interact. The task is engaging, the activity is engaging, the discussion is engaging. We'll engage more and share more, like a very good word to emphasize the meaning, and it's, something that we do not have. Right. So, ladies, I see you switched off the cameras. So let me know if you're there, and because when
I'm here.
I do not see your faces, it's kind of difficult to understand.
Afraid to switch on and
I
lose
understand.
my
Your connection. Yes, true, absolutely. So look, we are going to listen to a podcast with a media expert, Zelda, talking about this book, Rewire. And I would ask you to think why the book is called this way, Rewire, and what is the main point of the book according to her. Okay?
Track 3.31.
Welcome to From My Bookshelf, the weekly programme where guests talk about a book that they think everyone should read. This week's guest is media expert and commentator Zelda Freeman. Welcome, Zelda. Thank you very much for being here today. Tell us about your book.
The most intriguing book I've read in the past few years, Rewire by Ethan Zuckerman. He's an academic, and he thinks deeply about the role of media in our society.
Zuckerman, the main thing about his book, I hear, is that he's challenging the myth about the internet. Is that true?
Yes, the myth. And what's interesting is that we only think we're more connected, but the point he's making is that we're actually wrong. In some ways, the net manages to isolate us.
So we're all connected together, but we're isolating ourselves. That sounds like a contradiction. How's that possible?
Well, use myself as an example. I use the internet to find out news. I read a lot of newspapers online, but it's only British ones that I read. There's nothing stopping me from reading an English language newspaper in China. It's just a click away, but I don't. What Zuckerman is saying is that the internet is a very powerful tool, but very few of us exploit it to its full potential.
I have to ask, does it matter?
Well, yes. The reason why it matters is that we're living in an age of economic and physical connection. Our economies are connected. So if the share market in the US sneezes, then we all feel the effects. A dangerous virus breaks out somewhere in the world and it can travel around the globe very quickly. And more people are moving around. What we really need to understand is how other countries and cultures work. We're more linked into each other than we used to be, so we need to be a lot more cosmopolitan.
But in the 21st century, I'm sure a lot of people already know this. Does it actually matter if we don't do anything about it?
Well, good point. I mean, Zuckerman makes a very good point about that. We tend to think we know more than we actually do. It's a kind of false cosmopolitanism. And he uses this example because we know we could, in theory, read the Times of India online, but we almost begin to imagine that we actually do that, although in reality, we don't. It's the possibility of connection that means we begin to think of ourselves as being cosmopolitan.
So we begin to think that a possibility is a reality.
Exactly. I mean, that's fine for many things, but as far as the internet is concerned, I really think we need to think about it a bit more.
So why do you think that we don't connect more?
Well, Zuckerman suggests that our online behaviour is not that different from our offline behaviour. So, for example, we form social groups according to the people we meet as we grow up, and we get together with people with similar attitudes and interests.
So like we do in social media, we only friend people we want to actually be friends with.
Yes, that's right. What we don't do is explore much beyond that. But the thing is, we actually have the potential to do that.
So does Zuckerman himself, does he have any suggestions?
Well, he says that all we need to do is disconnect from our current way of thinking and rewire. We all have to learn to behave in a very different way.
How?
That's the problem. It's a challenge. You need to identify what he calls bridge figures. These are people who are able to translate ideas from one culture to another. They can explain it, give it context, and they help us to understand it.
So like in some kind of magazine or journal?
No, not really. He means being much freer than that. So, for instance, bloggers. These are people who have a passion for this kind of thing. Their information needs to be open and accessible, and therefore it's free for everyone.
Won't this just be more information online that people don't read?
So, as I mentioned before, business and politics are more and more connected. And business and political leaders need to be genuinely cosmopolitan in this day and age. So people who are bridge figures are likely to assume more and more important roles in business and also in politics. They've rewired already. So if we want to do well in the world, we need to rewire as well.
Okay. Why is the book called Rewire? What is the main point of the book, according to this expert? What do you say?
So it's a really very controversial book, I
Mhm,
think.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
very thought-provoking.
Yeah,
and,
yes, absolutely.
uh, it's difficult to understand it perfectly well. It's very deep.
Uh-huh,
Thought
uh-huh.
is really very deep. But as I just
Uh-huh.
catch it,
Uh-huh.
quote it.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
thought it is about that people just concentrate while they are reading the internet or the news. They are concentrate on particular their own interests.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't use the full potential of the internet. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they don't read about the news in different countries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that's why it's like he said, we should rewire and disconnect from the internet, and we should have somehow bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Probably not disconnect, but reconnect. You remember?
Reconnect.
Yeah. This is wire. When we rewire, kind of reconnect.
Yeah,
Nastya,
because our political system and the economical system all around the world is connected.
yes, absolutely. You remember the difference between economic and economical?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So can you say that again?
Economic, it means it's referred to study.
No, it refers to everything connected with economics and economy.
Economy, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's like
something economical. You remember this?
science, yeah.
I'm quite economical with the
So
budget.
don't spend money.
Uh-huh.
Don't waste your money.
Or my car is very economical, so it doesn't require much petrol. So we say political and
Economic.
So it's very easy to remember that political but economic. So they're different adjectives. So issues or questions to deal with. Nastya, are you with us? Any things to comment on, to add? So I want you to focus a little bit more on the language. And here there are 4 points. I want you to listen to her again and probably put down a couple of expressions she uses to interpret our current online behavior. What do we do? Ways the world is more connected these days. What is meant? What examples are given? False cosmopolitanism, what's that? And the last one is about bridge and figures.
Track 3.31.
Welcome to From My Bookshelf, the weekly programme where guests talk about a book that they think everyone should read. This week's guest is media expert and commentator Zelda Freeman. Welcome, Zelda. Thank you very much for being here today. Tell us about your book.
The most intriguing book I've read in the past few years, Rewire by Ethan Zuckerman. He's an academic, and he thinks deeply about the role of media in our society.
Zuckerman, the main thing about his book, I hear, is that he's challenging the myth about the internet. Is that true?
Yes, the myth. And what's interesting is that we only think we're more connected, but the point he's making is that we're actually wrong. In some ways, the net manages to isolate us.
So we're all connected together, but we're isolating ourselves. That sounds like a contradiction. How's that possible?
Well, use myself as an example. I use the internet to find out news. I read a lot of newspapers online, but it's only British ones that I read. There's nothing stopping me from reading an English language newspaper in China. It's just a click away, but I don't. What Zuckerman is saying is that the internet is a very powerful tool, but very few of us exploit it to its full potential.
I have to ask, does it matter?
Well, yes. The reason why it matters is that we're living in an age of economic and physical connection. Our economies are connected. So if the share market in the US sneezes, then we all feel the effects. A dangerous virus breaks out somewhere in the world and it can travel around the globe very quickly. And more people are moving around. What we really need to understand is how other countries and cultures work. We're more linked into each other than we used to be, so we need to be a lot more cosmopolitan.
But in the 21st century, I'm sure a lot of people already know this. Does it actually matter if we don't do anything about it?
Well, good point. I mean, Zuckerman makes a very good point about that. We tend to think we know more than we actually do. It's a kind of false cosmopolitanism. And he uses this example because we know we could, in theory, read the Times of India online, but we almost begin to imagine that we actually do that, although in reality, we don't. It's the possibility of connection that means we begin to think of ourselves as being cosmopolitan.
So we begin to think that a possibility is a reality.
Exactly. I mean, that's fine for many things, but as far as the internet is concerned, I really think we need to think about it a bit more.
So why do you think that we don't connect more?
Well, Zuckerman suggests that our online behaviour is not that different from our offline behaviour. So, for example, we form social groups according to the people we meet as we grow up, and we get together with people with similar attitudes and interests.
So like we do in social media, we only friend people we want to actually be friends with.
Yes, that's right. What we don't do is explore much beyond that. But the thing is, we actually have the potential to do that.
So does Zuckerman himself, does he have any suggestions?
Well, he says that all we need to do is disconnect from our current way of thinking and rewire. We all have to learn to behave in a very different way.
How?
That's the problem. It's a challenge. You need to identify what he calls bridge figures. These are people who are able to translate ideas from one culture to another. They can explain it, give it context, and they help us to understand it.
So like in some kind of magazine or journal?
No, not really. He means being much freer than that. So, for instance, bloggers. These are people who have a passion for this kind of thing. Their information needs to be open and accessible, and therefore it's free for everyone.
Won't this just be more information online that people don't read?
So, as I mentioned before, business and politics are more and more connected. And business and political leaders need to be genuinely cosmopolitan in this day and age. So people who are bridge figures are likely to assume more and more important roles in business and also in politics. They've rewired already. So if we want to do well in the world, we need to rewire as well.
Okay. So I agree that there was a lot of information. But let's focus on some things. So, Nastya, what's our current behavior according to Zelda and Zuckerman?
Or they believe that
Mhm,
our offline behavior, not
mhm,
online one. So it
mhm,
means that
mhm,
we tend to read about things we are keen on, and we build community or
mhm,
join some in order to according to our interests offline. And
mhm,
if we become friends online,
mhm,
it means with a person. If I understood it correctly, if I have understood it correctly, it means that we just want to make friends with this person online, but
mhm,
we can't.
mhm.
But
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
sure.
okay, yeah, right, absolutely true. The war, so she mentioned some ways the world is more connected these days. Do you remember any of the examples from the recording?
So,
Okay.
it's about economy,
Yeah.
politician,
Pol-
political system, okay.
yeah, politics. Yeah,
Politics, okay.
yeah, both
So,
stress
yeah,
this are possible.
yeah, so that's why people are really connected with each other.
Mhm.
They just travel around the world, and if
Mhm.
for example, if something wrong in the market, it's not like
Mhm.
wrong, but if the
Mhm.
share market in the USA is changed,
Mhm.
the price on shares will change all around the world. So we
Yeah.
just can't ignore
Changes, international
changes
changes.
in
Yeah, absolutely.
not in
Absolutely.
other country that happen
Uh-huh.
not in our country.
Yeah, true, absolutely. What is this a concept of false cosmopolitanism? So how did you get that from your explanation?
We should be cosmopolitan with the fact that the internet is widespread, but we are not
This way,
so
yeah.
this way.
Mhm.
Whereas we do not use all the opportunities that internet gives us to get more information, to get to know different cultures.
Yes, true.
And what do? We just fulfill our basic needs, but do not broaden our mind. That's
Yes,
why
true.
we think that we are, but we do not do nothing in order to be.
Okay. What about bridge figures? What was there about bridge figures? What did she mention?
So bridge figures, it is people. They are people who just able to translate ideas from one country.
Transmit probably or transfer.
Transmit.
Okay, from one country to another.
And what are the examples? Who
Yeah.
could be bridge figures?
So bridge figures could be bloggers, because it is like free, and everyone could read them, and that's all.
And they were also, you mentioned that, business and politics.
Yeah, business and politics.
Yeah, so politicians and specialists in business, economy. Okay. Right. So the text was full of ideas and concepts, and you got them absolutely right. Excellent job. I wanted to draw your attention to a couple of things she said. Well, look at this. Where is that? Just let me. Well, look at this.
What Zuckerman is saying is that the internet is a very powerful tool, but very few of us exploit it to its full potential.
Well, I think this one is widely used in essays and different formal contexts when we exploit something to their full potential. Yeah. Where exploitation, like instead of use, we would use exploit. Yeah.
What is it?
Use. Exploitation. We have the same word in Russian of human labor. Exploit something to its full potential. I think it's
but
a very.
We have it in negative meaning.
Well,
in
no,
English
you would
it's
say
neutral.
he's kind of he's very smart, but he's kind of lazy. He can't exploit all the opportunities to
in
their
English
full.
it's not this way.
It's kind of neutral, I think. Yeah. Exploit, like it could be depending on the context. Of course, it has a negative meaning as well. Yeah, the same as Russian. Well, then Kate explained the concept very, very well, but look at this one.
So if the share market in the US sneezes, then we all feel the effect.
Yeah, you see, the share market
Mhm.
sneezes is used metaphorically, right? Like something happens. Like here, it's just interesting to observe. But what I really want you to put down is this phrase.
A dangerous virus breaks out somewhere in the world, and
So viruses break out and wars break out.
Wars?
Wars, yeah, when
Mm.
wars start. For example, last year, a war broke out in Israel. 2 years ago, we had the same in Russia. So, yeah, when you talk about political events, sometimes we need to comment on that. Well, and I think there is a very good way of saying, where is it? Okay, well. Mhm. When we see something beyond, well, I can't find that. Well, or can, and she says yes.
Yeah, it was, I think, at the beginning, like
No,
it's
there was closer
potential.
to the end as well. Yeah. Then, well, so for some reason, on the screen, I can't really find it very quickly. And then it was he who commented on something. So closer to the middle, but anyway, I think this one also a very good way of saying that. So she said, explore something beyond
Mhm.
the limit, or explore something like beyond the options. So, but you will have a chance to work with the script, of course. I'll post the recording for you to go back to it. And look at this, bridge figures. And there is a very good expression in the English language, to bridge the gap. When we bridge the gap, what do we do?
Try to connect.
Well, actually, for example, you understand that your students' grammar is below the level, and you need to bridge the gap
Mm.
so they can deal with the level, minimize the difference. Yeah, like if there is the gap, there is like lack of something, and when we bridge it, we solve the problem. And here it's also a metaphorical way of saying bridge figures, people who can connect other people and bridge the gap in the cultural difference, like economic, in the difference of knowledge, right? Anyway,
It starts with yes, that's right. What we do not know,
yeah,
what we don't do is explore much beyond that.
yeah, that's the phrase. I have it in the book, but I just couldn't find it on the screen. Anyway, well, in this recording, there were several examples of cleft sentences.
Mhm.
And this is something which is very useful when you, reach C1 plus level, to add emphasis. So I want you to read through the highlighted in bold phrases and match them with the letters. Take a moment to look at them. All the sentences are taken from your recording. Let me know if you're ready. Ready? So I want you to listen and check the answers and pay attention to the intonation, the way she pronounces them.
Track 3.32. 1C.
What's interesting is that we only think we're more connected.
2E.
The point he's making is we're wrong.
3A.
The reason why it matters is we're living in an age of economic and physical connection.
4D.
The thing we need to understand is how other countries and cultures work.
5B.
All we need to do is disconnect from our current way of thinking and rewire.
Okay, correct?
Mm.
Kate, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, look at the structure. Which part do we emphasize?
I
The
think the
second
first-
one.
The second one, and we usually make a pause after
Mhm.
this cleft part, and then we emphasize the second part. So what about the intonation? So the way we pronounce them?
So it's false and then right.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like intonation is quite important here. And this cleft part, like the emphatic part, is connected with the meaning of the sentence with the verb to
The-
the verb to be. Yeah, and if it's about something in the past, what was interesting was the reason why it mattered was all we needed to do was also possible. So at home, you will have a chance to work with more examples at the back of the book on page 151. So here you have the tables and things. What is a very common way of starting a cleft sentence. In spoken English, there could be some more variants like why or how or where. There is another way of saying it is technology that. And the problem zone with students is here. Pay attention to the very last example. It was not until Leslie went away that I realized how much I missed. Not when, but that. When is here. It's only when I'm alone, again, that I feel insecure. This is something.
Yes, this material. But
Sorry?
we've studied it, but it was
Yeah.
inversion.
Yeah, we studied that. But again, if we say about the level exams, these things could be tested in transformation parts, well, use of English, when you have a sentence and you have to make a cleft sentence. And it's really very important in speaking and discussion part, when you emphasize your ideas, like what is more important, what it is something that is more important. You add emphasis to something that you say. And they could be helpful in conclusions of your essays. Yeah, that you summarize main points of your paper. Right. So now
Or
we,
cleft sentences or inversion or both.
yeah, sometimes they are inversion. This is the way the grammar is organized,
Mhm.
but cleft sentences are here where well, I was born in London. Where I was born is London. You emphasize here. You can say that when I'm alone, I'm insecure.
Both
It's
they
on,
used for emphasizing.
yes, this is
Yeah.
about emphasis. Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, what I want you to, we tend to use just simple sentences like here. We don't need Wi-Fi all the town. So how do we make a cleft sentence?
What we really need all over the town is internet. No?
Okay, yeah, like
Track 3.35. 1.
What we don't need is Wi-Fi all over town.
so the very end, what we don't need, yeah. So your meaning, you change the meaning, but what we don't need, yeah. So we'll come back. Focus on these ideas. Keep the meaning remain so it's unchanged. Then we'll talk a little bit about changes and our own ideas. Okay. Take a moment. Look at number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Sounds unnatural.
It is natural, but it you know, you need to get used to it. Yes, I understand. Let me know if you're ready.
Oh.
So, yes, they do require practice. Okay.
Should we do it in a written form?
Well, I think it might, if you take some notes, it might be helpful for you to come back to
Okay.
some sentences which you are not sure about. Because if something comes to mind easily, you remember it easily, but if something gets you down, then you need to focus a bit more. Okay. Let's see what we have. Nice. What do you think in number 1? Oh, number 2.
It's only when I am at work that I use the internet.
Yeah, it's only, well, something very close you will hear.
2.
It's only at work that I use the internet.
Yeah, it can be a bit simpler than yours. Well, here you see, I only use the internet at work. I only or at work. Here you emphasize the place, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
shouldn't
Okay, okay.
always use it's only when I am alone.
Yeah.
Is it
Kat-
possible to say it's only at work where I use the internet?
More
Only that.
that. This is the thing. You remember, that's why I said, please pay attention. This is the grammatically
It's-
correct version.
Yes, we were listening, but we're not paying attention.
Yeah, that's why I said that this is the tricky part. That is common in all
Like ordinary students. Listen.
yeah, like
But don't
hearing doesn't mean understanding.
understanding.
Properly.
Yes, we are all experienced teachers. Kate, pick the number 3.
One moment. All we need is to
All we need.
Я не записывала, теперь we only have to
Yes, this is the answer to your question. There are some students, who don't like writing.
only have to unsubscribe from social media to help us recover.
All we
All
need.
we need to help
Katya, look at number 5. Katya.
Куда 5?
I'm showing it on the screen. Look at the screen.
All we need to do is
Yes.
all we need to do is to unsubscribe from social media to help
Unsubscribe.
us. Yes, to help us reconnect.
Yeah.
It's always
3.
used.
All we have to do is unsubscribe from social media to help us reconnect.
You wanted to ask something, Nastya?
All we need is, no? It's
All we
simple.
need, you see, you need this parallel structure. All we need to do is to do something. Yeah, like.
Okay. To do and
Then there will be another infinitive.
It was so easy.
It sounded easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, number 4. Number 4 is easy, I think.
Kate? me?
Your turn. Your turn.
What's incredible is just how liberating it's to go digital.
Easy.
4.
What's incredible is just how liberating it is to go digital.
A and K, the last one, please.
Okay. The reason I'm worried is why people end up living in which wider world and losing touch with reality.
Again, you want to say why, but you have to say why is kind of more spoken and will be acceptable, but if it's like formal writing or a grammar.
The reason I'm worried that people blah blah blah.
Or could be something.
Can you repeat one more time, but why?
The reason it worries me is because people end up living in virtual worlds and losing touch with reality.
The reason is because, or the reason is that. That is correct, is another option.
Why we do not use why? Because it's
Well, in cleft sentences, we usually use that.
Mhm.
And with the word reason could be because.
No, why we meet?
Well, you would use this, the reason why it worries me is that. Why would be here?
The reason
Why
why
it worries, or the
I
reason it worries. Why is in this cleft part? That's
Mm.
why you don't use it there. It's okay to.
Explanation in the
Yes,
sentence,
yes,
but
yes,
we do
yes.
not
That's
use
the
it.
point. So if you
Mhm.
want to use why, it's possible to use it in the cleft. The reason why it worries me is that, or is because.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So let's pick the topic. Could be technology, news, or teaching, or maybe kids and bringing up kids. And focus on the prompts. All we seem to do, the reason why, blah, 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 or it's. So focus on the cleft parts here or prompts here, and try to comment on very important ideas or things that are taking place or trends that are happening now. Again, it shouldn't be only about news or technology. It could be teaching or bringing up kids. So we don't have much time to do it in writing. So let's try to speak, and you will take notes if something goes wrong. And so, so which topic is more exciting to talk about?
I don't know.
Let it be teaching or parenting.
Yeah.
Teaching or parenting, like sounds easier and more relevant and kind of crucial. Okay, come on.
Quicker.
Yeah,
Teaching.
yeah, with ideas. Yeah, easier to come up with ideas. Like look at the phrases here or here again. Focus on the language.
Okay. All we
Okay.
need to do is bringing our children
What we need to do
we
is you can
is to
bring up.
bring up our все. Нет, не так, все.
Все идет не так.
Да. Okay, is to bring up our children using or with like unconditional love.
Yes. Oh, a very good idea. I absolutely agree.
But with
You can say yeah, expressing unconditional love or sharing unconditional
share,
love or bring up with unconditional love. So both ways are possible. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It is incredible how demanding parents can be. Yeah. What about you, Nastya?
The thing we really need to understand is our children are not a part of us. They are independent
personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. You don't have to say all the cleft sentences. You can say one cleft sentence and then explain or specify the ideas. So you can't speak in cleft sentences all the time.
Thank God.
You just emphasize. The thing we need to understand is that they are, characters and personalities. What I mean is, and then you comment on that. Okay.
The thing we really need to understand is the fact that our students shouldn't be punishment if they don't do their homework. I mean, there are a lot of circumstances that could
Prevent them, yeah?
prevent them from doing this.
Our students shouldn't be.
But like
The thing that teachers need to understand is that students shouldn't be. Punishment is a noun. The student
yeah, that's right.
shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be punished.
Yes, punished. You know, getting bad grades or
Yeah, or
you know, comments, negative comments. Nastya, what do you say?
Majority of teenagers stop being active at the lesson is that they are becoming too shy.
Nastya, I didn't catch.
Can you say
I
that
think
again?
I heard something like the same.
The reason why the majority of teenagers are becoming inactive,
Inactive, yeah.
inactive during the lesson is that they are becoming too shy and find it stressful to present them.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I just thinking about the sentences that will be sound like what is interesting is that atmosphere on the lessons influence or no has a great impact on the performance, on the student performance.
Academic performance, yeah, true, absolutely. But we say in the lessons, right? Yeah, we do something in class or in the lessons. Right. Any other ideas, any other suggestions? So if you have a chance to interact with each other during the week, think of something that you have noticed something interesting or surprising, or you can say the thing I really worry about is. So there are, it's more like developing a habit to summarize some ideas using a cleft sentence, emphasizing. They are very, very helpful, because people tend to, get disconnected while we are listening to each other. But when you emphasize something, you kind of invite people in the conversation to share the point. Well, I also wanted you to have a look at the page, the short, quick reading on the next, if we have a bit time. Do we have a bit time? Are you in a rush, ladies?
I'm not in a hurry.
Okay, so let's because here there is a totally different thing. People online and people offline, and I love the way they compare the way we see things. So what kind of communication do you admire the most? Face-to-face or online communication?
Admire?
Yeah, appreciate. Yeah, like appreciate.
Of course, as for me, I appreciate face-to-face communication, but sometimes it's just impossible to communicate face-to-face. That's why online communication makes it possible to speak with people all around the world.
Yes, true. We appreciate online communication, but when we have a chance to interact face to face, we really love that, right? So here we have some interesting points. Before we have a look at the article, I would like you to think what you think before you read. Like, do you think these ideas are true or false? Feeling colder improves our ability to understand other people. What do you say?
True.
It's cool.
So Kate thinks it's false. Nastya thinks it's
false.
true.
Colder.
Well,
It's like
Colder.
when you feel
you
cold.
colder, your ability to understand
So
another
feel
person.
colder. It's you want to wear something more warm.
Yeah, like
Warmer.
it's maybe, yeah, something, well, feeling cold in general. Maybe it's the temperature outside, maybe
Mhm.
it's just
Mhm.
lack
Okay.
of clothes, as you say. Increasing the temperature of a room could help resolve an argument. What do you say?
False.
Cold.
Why is that?
Because I always feel uncomfortable when the temperature is very hot and
Yeah.
when it's very cold too.
You can't think clearly.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like everybody knows that. Some national and regional personality characteristics can be explained by climate.
Yes, it's
Of
true.
course.
Okay, so stereotypes, yeah, we have a lot of those.
Yeah.
Feeling warmer makes us feel more connected to other people.
It's true. I think.
Maybe it's true, but I do not know why.
So
Why?
by the way, I've read the article where there were like the temperature and the difference between male and female. And as far as I remember, boys should be like in a cold conditional.
Yeah, there is
And
some
girls
research.
should be in a warm conditions.
Yeah, the temperature in classrooms with boys should be lower than with
Yeah.
girls. Yeah, I read the same. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to create if you have a mixed class.
Yeah. But I haven't got such
But
problem.
you can put male students next to the window and open it.
Yeah, loneliness can affect your physical health.
I think it's true.
I think
Oh.
so.
And mental, even.
Yeah, okay. So, have a look at the article. As usual, there is a lot of language, but do not pay attention to the unknown words yet. So check your prediction. So identify if things are true or false. Are we ready?
That's quite difficult. Article
Mhm.
2.
Yeah, like it's kind of probably difficult to concentrate on the article after doing a bit of language study and grammar. So, what about number 1? Feeling colder improves our ability to understand other people. What does
So,
the article say? Is it true or false?
true. According to
Yeah.
the article, it is true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if we have a disagreement with a child, it's better to open the window, right?
Yeah. So that's why I have always open. I have my window open always. No,
Mm-hmm.
I have opened window. Yes, all the time.
Okay. Uh, well, we were we right about this one? Is it true or false?
Number 1?
Number 2.
True. It's true.
I'm really-
Or it's false. I'm
It's
sorry.
false. It's
We were
false.
correct. Yeah, we were correct, but the statement is false. Mm-hmm. So what about some national and regional personality can be explained by climate?
I haven't found the answer.
So it's like partly true. Some agree, partly.
Yeah, so there is no proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the author refers to some
Yes, this.
research.
Mhm.
Yeah, but so the answer would be false. Yeah, here. So number 4, is it true or false?
True.
True.
Mm-hmm. And number 5, is it true or false?
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. So which fact was kind of surprising from the text?
So as for me, it was like feeling cold improves our ability to understand others.
Mhm.
Because even yesterday, when we were in park and I just felt colder, I
Mhm.
can't understand my sons and husbands' feelings because they want to continue the stroke, and I want to go home. Wanted to go home. And I just persist on my problem.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I think when you feel like uncomfortable, it's
Mhm.
really very difficult to understand
Mhm.
other people's feelings.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, Nastya, how about you? What was the most surprising thing for you?
Maybe about an argument to solve it. You
Uh-huh.
just need to lower the temperature.
Uh-huh.
Below
Well,
the
and why does the writer suggest having hot baths in the article? What is the idea of hot baths?
not to feel lonely. You just
Uh-huh.
need to take a bath or eat a soup.
Uh-huh.
Hot
Uh-huh.
soup, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this here was an interesting word that I don't know, ostracism.
Ostracism, it's the same in Russian, ostracism, and according to the text, and it's a very interesting experiment, right?
Mhm.
Players who were ostracized, the verb is just above, yeah? When, players in the game were ostracized, what happened?
They were playing alone,
Yeah, isolated. Yeah, that's the
isolated,
synonym. Yeah, they were isolated from the game. And how did they feel?
lonely.
Lonely, and they asked for.
The hot food, hot food.
Mhm.
So
So
they preferred hot.
they preferred hot food. Yeah, like when we feel lonely, we prefer something warm, like warm bath and
Mhm.
hot food. Yeah, that's kind of, interesting. I haven't noticed that, by the way. Well, I'm sure we know all the highlighted in yellow words,
Yeah.
apart probably from one affable tolerance. What kind of tolerance? And when something is affable or the person is affable,
No
is it
idea.
pleasant or unpleasant?
Mm.
Yeah, pleasant. When
Mm.
something is affable, it's kind of the synonym for, you know, pleasant and nice. Preferable, yeah. Right. And pleasant, friendly, nice. So we know all the other words, right?
Yeah.
Ostracism was ostracized was probably new.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to draw your attention to, well, the phrase here, like when you are in the doghouse.
Yeah, I just underlined
Like
this word.
it's kind of an idiom, yeah. So so
It's like
what is meant from the context? You are in the doghouse.
the, maybe the house where old people live, no?
No. It's like a metaphorical expression of a situation when you are criticized or disapproved, or
Mm.
somebody is annoyed
Mhm.
by what you have done or disappointed. So you are in the doghouse, like kind of locked, and there is no way out. So you are disapproved of, yeah, you know, after you've done something. Okay. The rest I think is more or less clear. And when something is music to your ears, is this nice to hear? Or
Pleasant.
yeah, I think it's also quite a useful way of saying that when you are happy to hear something, right? Okay, well, I think that these noun structures that are offered, you know, to work with the book, in the book, are, you know, understandable and clear. The knowledge of related words is tested in all sorts of paperwork, like use of English word formation paperwork. But I think if we know the word and the related words are easier to make up, to build up. Okay, right. So the grammar topic is really very important, but I'm sure if we practice a bit more, we get used to it and we'll start using craft sentences more. Okay,